Hello, everyone. I am Evangelist Keyshunda Boyd, and I just wanted to introduce myself briefly because this is the very first of my vlogs. Um, when God first called me to preach when I was 17 years old, God told me, He said, the ministry that I put you in is going to be international. And I woke up this morning and it was placed in my spirit that I needed to go ahead and I needed to make my very first video to give you a little background about myself and what you can expect to hear from me in the videos to come. I am 34 years old. I will be 35 in May. Wow. Wow, I'm getting older. Today's date, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 21st of March, 2014. Today, I just decided to just give you a briefing about me and who I am and what led up to me accepting the call of God for my life. When I was 10 years old, I lost my mother to cirrhosis of the liver. My mother passed away, and when she passed away, she left behind 8 children. After my mother passed away, my sisters and brothers and we were all split up. And at that time, our family, our biological family, did not want us. They told the state to take us, but by the grace of God, even though our family didn't take us, friends of our family took us. In the course of all of that happening, I was abused by the person that got custody of me. I was abused by her and one of the children that she was raising. Anytime the other young lady wanted to play a game, if I didn't want to play, she would fight me. And if I would fight her back, I would be the one to get a whooping. Not only that, when word of that got back to one of my family members, one of the same family members who said that she did not want me, when the word got back to her of what was going on with me, she decided to take custody of me. In the midst of her taking custody of me, I was violated from one of her sons. I was violated from the age of 11 until I was 14. Um, I ended up running away, and after all of that happened, at the age of 15, I tried to commit suicide. Um, I overdosed. I slit my wrist, and I just was just tired, and I was just hurting. And when I was 16 years old, I ran away and I moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I moved there with this guy that I knew from here in South Carolina. I currently reside in Columbia, South Carolina. This is home. I'm originally from New York. I was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York, but South Carolina's home, and you might hear a little bit of city sometimes, but I know you're gonna hear a lot of country. Um, so at the age of 16, I went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Things didn't work out with between the gentleman and I was 16 years old and homeless. By the grace of God, I met some people the short time that I was up there, and a gentleman that I met told me that his mother passed away and left his sister a 4 bedroom house, and she was living alone. He said, if you like, I'll ask my sister, can you stay with her? And he asked his sister, and she said, yeah. But she wanted me to stay with her for a price. She told me that I can stay with her as long as I would sleep with some guys on occasion for some money. I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I tell people is that you got to be honest, especially when it comes to the ministry. I tried it one time, and after I tried it, I felt so nasty because due to the fact that I was already molested, I felt like I was having sex again against my will. And after that one time I tried it, I was willing to be homeless again before I did that again. So again, I became homeless again, still at the age of 16. And I ended up meeting this guy, and I think he was like 2 years older than I was. And I started dating him, and I always was at his house with him and his mother. And things didn't work out between him and I. And here I am again, still 16. This happened, all of this happened within, I say, 3 months. I was still 16 at the time, and I ended up I was doing volunteer work at a drug rehabilitation center because I did explain my mother died from alcoholism. So I started volunteering at a center. I couldn't work there. So I started volunteering there. And when I started volunteering there, on my way there, one day I met this guy. And him and I started to talk and just kind of hang out and spend time with each other. And we started dating. In the course of me dating him, I had to deal with the other women calling the house phone telling me they were pregnant by him, and me being sarcastic saying congratulations. Um, Me looking out the window and seeing him coming out of other women's house. I also had to deal with the fact that he would beat on me. He was beating on me. He would black my eyes so I couldn't go outside. Not only that, he would lock me in the basement while he was upstairs having sex with other women. Not only that, it's just I went through a lot with him. Not only that, I remember just as clear as day. I just hit 17. May 31st, I just hit 17. This was in 1996. Just hit 17, and him and I again, I had to deal with the other women and him dealing with minors. And not only did he deal with me as a minor, but he ended up dealing with somebody. I was 17 and she was 15, so I had to deal with that. Not only did I have to deal with that, I never forget. He used to always tell me that Key, if you keep playing with me, somebody's gonna find you slumped over, stinking somewhere. So I'll never forget one night. We were laying in a one well one night we was laying in bed and we were asleep, and I had a dream that the world came to an end. I had a dream that stars started falling from the sky, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? What am I gonna do? And the stars start falling from the sky, and all of a sudden my dream turned white, and I was standing before God for judgment. And I didn't see God's face. I didn't see his color. All I saw was these big hands with this big book. I was the second person in line, and I heard him call my name before I got up to him. He said, Keyshunda. He said, your name's not in the book of everlasting life. I said, are you sure? And he said, yes. I said, check under my last name. He said, it's not in there. And I said, so you mean I got to go to hell? And God said to me in my dream, he said, depart from me. And I walked away crying with my head down. And I woke up. Normally, when I would be in the bed with my ex-boyfriend at this time, when I would be in the bed with him, if I roll over, if I got up to go to the bathroom or whatever I did, he would always feel me move. And he like, where you going? What you doing? And this particular time, after I woke up out the dream, I heard the voice of God say to me, just as clear as day, go. I got up, I packed all my clothes, and at that he was a drug dealer. I packed all my clothes and I took some of his drug money and I got a ride to the bus station and I got on the Greyhound bus and I came back to South Carolina. He must have thought that I was either at the volunteer center or whatever, but he did not know that I was in South Carolina until I was already in South Carolina. Um, he didn't know, and God, shortly, actually, right after I left, I say about 4 or 5 months after I left, I God revealed to me that I saw myself in a dream and I was standing in front of thousands of people and I was preaching, and I heard God said, I'm going to use you. And I remember crying in my dream. God said, I'm going to use you. God said, and when I use you, God said, he said, I'm not going to confine you to one pulpit. God said, the ministry that I'm placing on your life is international. And After that, I was like, okay, I fought it for a long time. Um, God revealed to me He wanted me to preach when I was 17. When I was 18 years old, I went into the lesbian lifestyle. Before I went into the lesbian lifestyle, I thought homosexuals were getting nasty. I thought they was disgusting. I thought they was disgrace. I thought everything about it. And when I was 18, after all the hurt and everything I went through and all the abuse with my ex-boyfriend, I decided that that was not what I wanted anymore. So I lived in a lesbian lifestyle and I battled with it for years. I battled with it for years. I think one thing I learned from living in that lifestyle, in the homosexual lifestyle, is the spirit that comes from that lifestyle is a very powerful demonic spirit. And you really, really have to pray. And I mean, really pray that spirit away. And you got to really want God to take it away in order for it to leave. Not only did I battle homosexuality for years, um, not only that, I was in abusive relationships with females. I was in abusive relationship with my ex boyfriend. Then I turned around and I left the lesbian lifestyle. I left the lesbian lifestyle in 2008, 2 years before I entered into the ministry. I left the homosexual lifestyle and I married a guy that I knew from church, and a guy that I thought was an amazing guy. But turned out he was just a wolf in sheep clothing. He disrespected me with church members. Not only that, he started committing adultery with a young lady who lived across the street from him and I. Not only that, I had to confront numerous women about him. He was addicted to pornography. Um, he really took a toll on a lot of things about what I taught, about what I believed about myself. A lot of guys and females that I dealt with, they knew that I had low self-esteem, and they stripped me of what little I was actually trying to get back and build back up. I'll never forget it. After I married him, one day I was so hurt behind a lot of the dirt he was doing. I was in the car driving, and I heard this scripture in my spirit, and it said, "All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, and that's been called according to His divine purpose." And that is the scripture that I live by today. Every time something happens, I remember Romans 8 and 28. All things, not some things, but all things. So that was just a brief description of me and some of the things that I've been through. Mind you, I'm 34, so I went through a lot. Um, but trust and believe that there's always someone's story worse off than mine. As time goes on, I am going to read texts from the Bible to you, and I'm going to challenge you. And if there's anything that you would like to know about me, or if there's anything that you would like for me to speak to you or encourage you about, or if you just want prayer, just let me know, because the prayers of the righteous prevaileth much. And I'm going to let you know in my vlogs what it is that you need to be looking for in a church home. I'm also going to let you know um, when you need to, when too much is just when too much is too much. I'm going to also let you know about what it's like to really walk holy and righteous before God. I'm going to also talk to you about presenting your body as a living sacrifice. I'm going to talk to you about celibacy. I'm going to talk to you about just spiritual warfare. I'm going to talk to you about demons. I'm going to talk to you about uh, demons in the pulpit. I'm gonna minister to you about a lot of things, and I want you to expect at least I'm gonna say at least 3 videos a week, because everything that God does with me, He does with me in numbers of threes. So again, I wanted to introduce myself, and I just want you to know that I am really looking forward to the next video. I am looking forward to it, and I'm going to seek God and see what it is that God would like for me to minister to you about, and what He would like for me to speak to you about. And every video that I make, the copyrights belong to me, and any sermon that I minister, you may Somebody may take the topic, but it won't have the same meaning as what it has to me. So be blessed.